Hey.
What's up?
Just being Bo Peep on a Friday night, you know?
The things we do for our hair.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if you can see, I've got a little rogue a la X-Men look going on, which is where I have a really big gray streak in my hair.
Do you ever get gray? Do you get gray roots?
Oh my God, are you kidding? Yes. Look at
so
this. Look at it.
But that's just one streak. Do you get it like in your roots, like everywhere?
Not yet, but it's coming.
I gotta say, I got mine at like 23. So you're like killing it in that department. I mean, one gray streak is like pretty fucking cool.
I just like try to blend it in with the blonde, and sometimes people will give me kind of a compliment where they're like, "Oh, your hair." Like, I remember once Mom and I were at a rest stop, and in the bathroom, some lady was like, "Your hair, that's very different." And I was like, compliment or insult? Pick one, you know?
What rest stop were you at?
It was like in New York, some weird shit. I don't fucking know. So, yeah. I've had guys also be like, "Oh." No, I'm like...
Do you tell them about your X-Men powers?
Yeah, I'm like, go fuck off. Someone did once say, like, it reminds me of Storm. And I was like, that's cool too. So, I'll take it. Again, though, compliment or insult? I'm not sure.
I mean, it seems cool.
Yeah.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, sisters who've seen it.
Hello
there.
Not even gonna try to do a British accent. I'm not. You can't make me.
But we could go to London and have but it's a bubbly.
You sound like you're from London.
But Hugh Grant has like a bubbly. I can't even do it. He has like
that was pretty good actually.
A bumbly, mumbly, schmumbly.
Yeah, he does.
Like his mouth doesn't open more than an inch.
Do I hate Hugh Grant on the inside and the outside?
I think he's funny.
I don't know, Bridget. I had such internal hatred happening so much. All right, we'll get into it.
This is Love Actually adjacent, so
okay.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
We're gonna talk about it. We're here. We're all here. No one's a cardboard cutout. So,
well, yeah.
Maybe, but let me introduce ourselves, listeners. So we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy. I didn't write it down.
I'm just
asking him to love her.
Yeah, Katie, I don't know if acting's in your future.
I was doing that off of my memory, and my brain is actively trying to erase.
Okay. Well, that's that.
So sorry.
What is the movie?
What is the movie?
I was asking you, but I'll do it. It is the 1999.
I'm sorry, there's such a delay.
It is the 1999 comedy romance starring Julia Roberts, Hugh Grant, Notting Hill.
And that's the name of the town?
Yeah, like the area.
I figured it out at the very end of the movie, and I was like, okay.
So. So you loved it?
Do you want to tell the listeners the text I sent you?
You hated it? You said, wait, what was the direct quote? You said, hold on.
I believe I said something along the lines of, Notting Hill, more like, not loving this shit.
Or no, you said Notting Hill, more like, I'm not gonna make it through this shit.
Somehow I did, though. So.
Well, because we're both committed podcasters.
Absolutely.
We're loyal. We're committed. We go the extra mile.
I do also want to shout out Mel, because in our last episode, when you picked this movie, I was like, I feel like Mel was talking about this movie to me. And then I texted her and I was like, did you like recommend this movie? Or were we talking about this movie? And she said, I did text you about it. She goes, but I would not recommend it. It's not good. And I was like, well, it's too late, Mel, because now we're doing it. She's like,
you're like, it's Bridget's fault.
Well, it's England's fault, or I don't know whose fault. It's Hugh Grant's fault, maybe, for all we know.
Oh my god, that's so
it's
fucking
probably
funny.
the writer's fault, and I would like to see, where did this come from? Who did this?
I read very briefly that it was kind of pulled from somewhat, Richard Curtis is the writer, and it was like somewhat pulled from a little bit of his experience. Let me see if he ended up doing other stuff.
Oh god, this was like because...
Oh, 4 Weddings and a Funeral. So he did that one, 1994, then he did Notting Hill. Whoa, Bridget Jones's Diary, Love Actually, Bridget Jones, Oh my god, this explains so much.
He wrote Love Actually. There it is, folks. You found it.
Holy cow, he wrote all this stuff. Okay, this explains a lot. Yeah, okay?
It's clicking. This movie felt like, it felt like a fan fiction about Julia Roberts. And I was I'm scared.
Well, and I kind of, rewatching it didn't land... It landed weird. It landed weird in the realm of, like, technology, because there was, like, no technology.
Yeah.
I think it's your synopsis.
No.
What?
No. I did Aladdin. No.
You did? What? You did?
I think so.
Did you?
I thought I did.
I never trust my memory, so here we
Maybe
are.
I'm just vehemently...
It's fine. Conviction is a real thing.
So sorry.
It's fine. Here I am. So, we have some characters. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go through them. So, okay. How the fuck? Let me, hold on. Netflix?
It was also, like, I didn't know, there's a lot of names I don't know, but I didn't know everybody's, like, connection to each other either.
Okay.
And then again, by the end of the movie, I was kind of like, I think I get it. I needed, like, a chart.
Okay, I'll help you.
All right.
So a chance encounter brings together reserved bookstore owner William Thacker, Hugh Grant, and Hollywood icon Anna Scott, Julia Roberts, who forge an improbable romance.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess, yeah.
That's really the plot, and the rest of it is dialogue. Okay? So Hugh Grant lives in Humbleton, Notting Hill. Julia Roberts, as the movie star, I guess flies to, like, shoot movies in this area. Okay, fine. There's a lot of meet cutes. She happens to walk into his bookstore, which, by the way, 1999, you're so audacious. An entire store just made up of travel books. Books to teach you about travel. 1999, the amount of money y'all had, out of control.
I don't think those exist now.
They don't exist. Yeah. She comes in and she kind of, like, sees him. He sees someone stealing a book. He's kind to them, but is also, like, firm on, like, don't steal my shit. She admires that. He doesn't gush over, like, her Hollywood famousness. And they, like, have a little moment.
Yeah.
Okay, they move on. He runs into her and splashes a bunch of water, coffee, whatever the fuck it was. Orange juice.
That's sticky.
And gross. And then is like, hey, I literally live there. That's my blue door, which, by the way, is like a big famous store in this area in real life. You can go to this door.
Wow.
And he's like, do you have a bunch of bags? You want to go change your clothes? Like, I'm right there. And she was like, oh, Jesus, fine. She kisses him at the end of that.
Yeah.
So now we've started a romance. Okay. A lot of this film, and this writer absolutely does this with all of his films, is Hugh Grant doesn't have his own thoughts without going to his group of people. His group of people are his little sister, who always has the pink, like, crazy hair, and she's hysterical.
I knew she that was his awards. Sister.
By the way, she won awards because, like, I actually think she was probably the best one.
I mean, she was good. Yeah.
Then you had his best friend, who was Bella, who was the one who was in a wheelchair.
Oh, they were okay.
They were best friends.
At one point,
he, like, dated her. He dated her, and she didn't want him.
Okay, at one point in the movie, I was like, "Is this your ex-wife that left you?
It wasn't an ex. It was like
an old, like
an old
dated
best friend, whatever.
Okay,
and her husband Max those are his best friends. Yeah. And then they have kind of a schlubby friend Bernie, who I guess just makes them feel better because like his life is so pathetic.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the friend group. So they all go in, check in, and then Hugh Grant is like, wow, I met Anna Scott. And they're like, you did. Oh, wow, let's treat her normal. And then the whole film is like her like loving this taste of normalcy, and then Hugh Grant being like, I can't believe she's in my presence. Oh my God. And then, he sees her famousness and he realizes he doesn't fit. And then they go back and forth and she's kind of a dick to him, which I want to talk to you about. Yeah. And then she's like, I actually have a boyfriend and I lied to you. And I'm just kind of like stringing you along, but also like, hey, do you want to hang out? But also like, oh my God, like save me. I'm a victim now. And blah, blah, fucking blah. Okay. And so then they come back out of all of it. The inevitable, like, clearly you guys are going to get together. How are we going to do this? And Hugh Grant only makes decisions by consensus, which is, let me ask my group, which they all are like, yo, that's a fucking famous Hollywood actor and you're some little pimple on the butt of Notting Hill. She seems to love you. You love her. Like, don't complicate it. Go have fun. And then she says the famous line, and that's about it. What do you think? How did I do?
I mean,
that's
just, wow. It feels like it could be a short film with that, but it's a 2-hour movie.
It's really heavy dialogue, huh?
Yeah, just a lot.
Nowadays couldn't fly because people would be like, make it a series. But I think back then these movies were so normal. These like heavy dialogue movies where they're like, we need to fit in every possible conversation ever that could ever possibly fucking happen.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's a little nostalgic, okay.
It does feel like British, too. Like, I was like, this is very British.
It's so British.
Like, I don't know if that's rude or real to say, but I was just like, oh, yeah.
Well, it's the dark, I don't think it's, like, offensive. I mean, it's a dark humor that's like, they literally go around one night and they're like, who's got the stupidest, shittiest life?
My God.
And then they're very honest about it.
It was like, a Britney Spears Crossroads moment, Bridge. I couldn't handle it.
The amount of times you referenced Britney Spears Crossroads,
I'm just saying.
No one could ever guess.
People don't forget.
That's a bonus trivia question. It's 11. So, you hate Hugh Grant. Why do you hate him?
I think on the inside, two things. I think of his character in Bridget Jones's Diary, where he was the villain, and I'm like, oh, You're a great villain.
Okay.
You're really good at that.
So you believe he is who who he is.
Yes. And I think he's done like, obviously, because he's like famous, he's done like interviews, and there's a lot of like interviews that he's done where he's like really fucking rude.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know if it's like a culture, and it like maybe to me, it comes off as rude, but that's like not rude for you, but I don't know. So I think I'm just biased. I'll say it. And I think just again, like the way this movie goes is it's very much like we worship Julia Roberts' character.
Yep.
It feels kind of probably how her life was like in the 90s. I'm scared. And it just feels like a fan fiction where it's like, oh, of course the movie star falls in love with me, the boring man. And of course, like, she loves me and she's going to kiss me first. Okay, she kisses me first. You're like, okay, we get it.
Well, it's written by a man. I mean,
I know. So that's what I mean. So
you're right about him being rude, but it's actually like the most recent interviews because he did that Heretic.
Where he's also a villain.
Okay. But he does these, when he was hyping up the movie, I was listening to a lot of his interviews, and he's kind of in a I just don't give a fuck phase of his life. So I find that funny. But I can imagine that it's not as cute when you're like in your kind of young prime. Now I find him to be like, what is he, 60s, 70s? Like,
he's definitely a grumpy old man, because I remember there was like a recent
64.
Oscars
Yeah,
where he was
like No, but I find that so funny. Like, he's just like over... Like, he's just annoyed he has to be there. I think it's hysterical. So, yeah, I look at it this way. However, could he actually be the evil characters? Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, here's the thing. Do we think he's cute? He's just got great hair, right?
His hair is good. And what did they were like, your nickname in high school was Floofy? Or Floppy? Wait. And it was about his hair. Like, they were like, because you got great hair. And I was like, oh, okay.
But all I thought about was, I was really analyzing, like, is it, like, if you put AI hairstyles on him, I don't think it's the same hot guy. I think a shaved head, not
he's
famous.
Got, like, I don't know, like, he's got, like, light blue eyes.
Yes.
His teeth are not bad. I think they're normal. Like, you know, sometimes it's a crapshoot.
He never opens his fucking mouth. I don't know.
Well, and they did in this movie. They were like, we're going to definitely make sure Hugh Grant gets shirtless. And, like, we've talked about this for so many fucking movies. It was, I'm sure at the time in the 90s, it was like, whoa,
I know.
hubba hubba. And now I'm like, oh, you're like a little guy.
A little scrawny guy.
You got, like, one ab, maybe.
Like the amount
so
of
different.
protein intake is like 400,000% in the 90s. So, okay, that helps me. Julia Roberts' character, like, sucked, right?
Yeah.
Like,
she sucked.
I'm like, okay. I get you. Like, it sucks to be famous and try to be normal. I believe that. I'm sorry. I believe it. I get that. So, fine. But she treated him like shit.
Yeah.
She kissed him first.
Yep.
She didn't say she had a boyfriend.
Yep.
She kept going to she invited herself to his sisters. Yep. You and I have a rule. We don't introduce them to family.
No. Until you go to the bone zone. That's the rule.
Exactly.
We talked about that in St. Elmo's Fire. It's an important
rule. And then she's also, like, super famous, so she knows everyone's, like, gonna make a thing out of it.
And she's like, oh, it's your sister's birthday? Better get the spotlight on me then. I was like, ah.
Well, and then when the boyfriend does come, she, like, doesn't stick up for him, but clearly hates the boyfriend.
Yep.
And then continues to, like, scream at him when paparazzi show up, which he had nothing to do with. So, what was she was so freaking mean.
And then she shit talks him to her, like, co-worker at the one movie thing.
That was awkward.
She was very gaslighty. Like, that was, like, very 90s gaslighting. Well, I guess, like, any decade gaslighting, but in the 90s, we're like, but she's pretty, so there's gotta be a reason. Let's believe her. Yeah.
So that, like, looking back, I was like, oh, she kind of, like, stunk. And then I was really proud of Hugh Grant at the end where he's like, listen, I'm sorry. Like, you kind of treated me like a ragdoll. I think it's a no for me. I was like, well, this is a great message.
That's how the movie should have ended.
It should have ended. And
that's exactly where it should have ended.
The violins played and they were like, we gotta have a happy ending.
Yeah, I was ready for that to end there. I was like, oh, movie, you're gonna redeem yourself. And I was like, fuck you. They're gonna go make out. And I was like, oh, all right, that's fine.
Also, how old do we think Hugh Grant was supposed to be at this age?
You know, I would want to say in his 30s, but I'm sure the movie's like, well, of course he was 24, you know, living on his own and had his own small business. So I don't know, actually.
Yeah, because then I'm like, how old is she? Like, I was like, I don't know what ages we're dealing with, because I'm more forgiving if someone's in their 20s. If there's, like, dumb relationship back and forth, you're like, hey, you're 23, we've all been there, okay? When you're, like, 38 doing that, I'm like, listen.
Hey.
Get it together.
Listen here.
There are free mental health resources.
There are.
So, you know, but I'm getting the sense that since you hated this movie so much, do you not want to talk about it?
No, we should talk about it.
Okay.
I just will be saying things. And the first thing I'm going to say is we start the movie off with a Julia Roberts tribute with some fucking song that's basically like, you're the most beautiful woman in the world, Julia. And it's literally just probably, I assume, real life fucking pictures of just Julia Roberts. But they're like, she's a famous actress. And I didn't know what was happening. And that happens a lot in this movie where I wrote it multiple times, what's happening? And sometimes the movie answered, but not always, you know? Not always. Hugh Grant is kind of a narrator in the beginning, and I was like, oh, is this based off a book? It's not. He's just like, this is the town I live in, Notting Hill. I'm in England. Here's some people you might see later, but they're not important. So why am I telling you? Who knows? Anyway, I work at a bookshop. Travel bookshop. And he mentions, he's like, yeah, I know her. She's famous and she's so hot. But like, that would never happen to me, you know? And I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go. The fan fiction. It's coming in hot.
You know what though? Like playing an actress when you're an actress probably feels weird.
I wondered so much how, and I know like obviously Julia Roberts didn't write this movie. We don't know who the writer was thinking about when he wrote this movie. But like there were a lot of parts where I was like, is this like too real for you, Julia? Like some of the lines she had to say where she was like, you know, it's like people think I'm a great actress now, but is that just because I'm like young and pretty and then I'm going to get old and they're all going to be like, you suck. And I was like, do you want to talk about that? Do you want to talk about that more? That was during the Crossroads, Britney Spears.
But that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how society treats female actors.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm just like, oh, these are like kind of real, a little real.
I would assume she probably like tapped into some shit because, you know, Julia Roberts in the 90s, that's heyday. That's heyday Julia Roberts.
Well, and then it just thought it was funny too how she's like the most famous actress in the world. And then she's just strolling around this fucking city by herself, no security. Nothing at all. I was like, this is how we get kidnapped and extorted for money. Okay? Watch out for the stalkers. Hugh Grant might be one. You don't know.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, that part, this is the like, okay, the technology part to me is no phones.
Yeah.
So no pictures. So no videos. So no like backdoor entrances hiding. And you remember when you and I at Sundance, we were like, let's get there early, and we definitely going to see some celebs on the street. And then we realized that they all have, like, secret backdoor alley lounges, security, like, curtain hall thing. And you're just like, damn, no one can even, like, see a guy get out of a car anymore? Like, Jesus fucking Christ. So, I liked that a little bit. I thought like, well, that's kind of like, it's nostalgic. Like, you know, and then even when he's like, you can use my telephone, my house is right there. I was like, oh yeah. Or she's like, the paparazzi have pictures. It's in the newspaper. That's forever. And I was like, bitch, you don't even know about the internet.
Wait one more year till the millennium. You'll see.
Oh God. So like that part was kind of, I liked it. I'm like, I like movies that, like, I think it'd be cool if a movie now pretended like there was no internet or phone. I'd be, like, so into it if, like, a new one came out like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is definitely a plot point where, yes, he spills orange juice on her boobs on purpose or accident.
It was pretty spastic.
And he's like, oh, it's you again. I just saw you in my bookshop. So weird. Who knew you'd be right here around the corner? Anyway, come to my home. There it is. And they do that. And then, yeah, she just like changes. And then he's kind of awkward. And it's like, okay, I'm going to leave now. Bye. And I was like, all right, bye. Like, nothing weird here. But yeah, then she goes and kisses him.
That would not fly.
Bridge, how low is the bar? You know, because that could be the other name of this movie is how low is the bar for Hugh Grant?
Well, I actually felt bad for him. Like, I'm like, do you want to be kissed? Like, she's still like stranger danger at this point.
We're all strangers, okay? I don't know anyone's name for half the movie.
I was thinking about that. Some guy spills orange juice on you, and he's like, hey, you want to come to my apartment and change?
I would be like, no.
I'd be like, sir, I'm going to rock this look to the nearest Starbucks. What?
Yeah. I'm going to use the public bathroom that I can lock the door away from you and your face.
But you know what? Different times, 1999.
It's very different. And yeah. And then somehow, how does this happen? She gets his number. Did he give her his number? I don't really know. But it is a lot of like role reversal where like she kisses first. She always reaches out initially. Yeah. And that's why I felt very fanfic-y because I'm like, I don't know if this is real life. Yeah. I don't think this could be forever. And so she somehow gets a call. He has like a ding-dong roommate who...
I didn't talk about... His name is Spike.
It's Spike?
Spike has dried all his clothes on high, and they're just crop tops.
He's like when toddlers, it's like because they grow so much, like their butt crack is always hanging out.
No,
that was him.
He is a
the
giant, like, tall toddler.
Yes. Yeah,
yep.
Spike, he doesn't write down the message, so then Hugh Grant, like, gets it late, something, and then he goes to a hotel thinking he's gonna, like, meet up with her, and it's like a press conference, and he says he's from a magazine called Horse and Hounds. Why? Who made this magazine? And why? And endless questions that never get answered. And, I mean, I didn't hate that part because I thought the movie was going to go in more of a direction like that, where it was like, oh, you guys are going to have to be a little secret.
Yeah.
But then no, because she's just traversing around the city with no security or nothing for like half the movie. And I'm like, oh, okay, so it's not, okay, it's not a secret. You're in a public restaurant. Like, okay.
You know what honestly really bothered me too is like I didn't think they had chemistry.
Me neither. Yeah.
And I thought, is this just like the machine that's like, you're famous, kiss, chemistry? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I just didn't think they had any like sparks really.
That's a good question. It's like chicken or an egg. Was it Julia that we want to do montages of to make this movie? Or did we pick Hugh Grant first to be British? Who was first?
Well, and both of them were in the 4 Weddings and a Funeral that the writer did. So maybe it was just the formula of like this worked the first time.
Maybe. I don't remember that movie either. Damn.
I think she was in it.
You know who was in this movie that I was like, oh my God, save yourself? A young Misha Barton. Definitely. Either, I think it's The Sixth Sense was the same year, I think.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
She's got a quick little cameo as a little child actress in one of Julia Roberts' movies or some shit. And I was just like, Misha, no, girl. You're above this. Don't learn dating lessons from this movie.
Do you know what was gross about her line?
Oh, was it Leonardo DiCaprio? Something like that?
Well, like, isn't the joke... So he's like, who's your favorite person you've worked with? And she's like, Leonardo DiCaprio. And he's like making jokes like, who's that Italian director? Like he just didn't know who that was. And I kept thinking, isn't the joke with Leonardo DiCaprio is he only dates like young people? Yeah. And so I'm just like laughing. I'm like, that's kind of weird.
Awkward. Predicting the future, Notting Hill.
Well, and how like, I went down this rabbit hole where I was like, maybe Leonardo DiCaprio likes only young people because he was like so famous when he was young, and he's like holding on to that young stardom youth. And then I was like going down a rabbit hole, like, wow, I don't, right?
Yeah, so could be. That's very psychology. Oh, okay. Yeah, somehow, like you mentioned, yes, she invites herself to his sister's birthday.
It's never happening. I'm never saying yes to that. And he was like, you do?
Yeah.
And he's like, listen, who wouldn't want you to come to, like, who is that actor now? Like, if Jimmy brings home, who? Like, who is that famous actress right now?
I mean, maybe, like, Margot Robbie?
Okay, yeah. Like,
that could be like
Margot Robbie shows up with Jimmy. I'd be like, Jimmy, it's about time you brought the fucking party.
I'd be like, Jimmy, get out, because now we're going to hang out with Margot Robbie and ask her about the Barbie movie.
You have to go. I know you brought her. But
sorry, we're busy. Yeah.
So that made the movie, like, the sister to me was the best part.
Yeah, she was funny.
She made it fun. She was silly. She had that, like, quirky British, like,
wait, but
timing.
Did she get married? Who got married?
Okay,
who's engaged?
Did you pick that up? What her move was?
No.
Katie, this is a move you can do.
What?
Okay, are you ready?
I don't know.
So she is fucking at this table. Spike, who she's like totally crushing on.
She likes Spike.
She likes Spike. He likes her, and they're like kind of crushing, but it's like whatever. And she just is like, I have this announcement, like I'm getting engaged. And then everyone is like, oh, wow, amazing. And then she like knocks him on the shoulder and is like, hey, it's to you. What do you think? And he basically was like, yeah, are you kidding me?
But then
so she basically like secretly proposed to him.
But then did they actually get married?
I don't know.
Was there a wedding?
I don't know, but I'm just saying,
out.
Kate, that's a smooth motherfucking move. And if you do it, I will not say, Katie, are you pulling a Notting Hill? I will tell everyone to shut up, and I'll just, like, let you do your thing, you know?
All right. Well, I don't want to do that, probably, unless I know that person, and
Katie
they're not
is sweating. This is a fictitious scenario.
Everything about
commitment is making her sweat.
Oh my god! Oh god! I have to take my sweatshirt off. This is bad.
So sorry.
Oh my god. Yeah, the dinner. I like a lot of the personalities. You could tell. I don't know. They're like friends, I guess. And yeah, the end of the dinner was interesting because it literally was like, well, the person who's the shittiest life gets the last brownie. I don't know why we got to put contingencies on brownies. Brownies are for all of us, bad life or not. Okay, back up. And then, yeah, everybody goes around and they're kind of like doing a roast. And then they ignore Julia Roberts. And she's like, what about me? And they're all like, we would never say anything bad about you. And then she's like, well, I'll say bad shit. And then she trauma dumps.
Oof.
Bad. And again, I was like, right, so Julia, you like later in the movie get really mad because you think like somebody leaked personal stuff to the press. You're literally reading your diary at the table to strangers. You're not worried anyone's gonna take some of this info to the press? No? Okay, girl.
Forgetting the journalist is in the group chat? Is this what's happening?
That's definitely what's happening. And all
Julia.
for a fucking brownie. We could have just bought one. I don't understand.
She could have bought a lot of them. Okay, that was
so
an
many.
Original Mark Chagall painting. Girlfriend's Got Bank. Okay.
Holy shit. Yeah. So that was just, I don't know. That was interesting. And then, and the one friend, who's the woman in the wheelchair is like, I can't get pregnant ever. And everyone's like, oh. And then it gets awkward. And then somehow we move on and forget all about that and never ask about it again. And I was like, okay.
Here's what I hated about that. Hugh Grant was like, yeah, but, you know, your husband loves you.
I was wondering if there was going to be a weird, like, cheating subplot with that husband. Because he, like, at one point was like, oh, you should date this woman. She's, like, good at kissing. And, like, these women. And I was like, why does he know so much about these women? Well, and, like, what are we doing?
Okay. I want to get to that part.
Can we, like,
sorry. Hustle bustle to that part?
So, Julia Roberts has a boyfriend. Spoiler alert, it's Alec Baldwin. And my Reddit fan theory is this is actually, because I think the timing doesn't line up exactly, but I'd like to believe that he was actually the character from 30 Rock. You know, but like in the movie, and like that's who he was in this, because
man, but his hair was so bad.
Yeah, he was like at that stage of like, I am not Beetlejuice anymore. I'm not in Beetlejuice, but I'm also not at 30 Rock yet. Like he's like in between.
Yeah, he didn't know what to do.
Weird. Yeah,
he really has high highs and low lows. I gotta tell you. Okay. Yeah, he's a jerk. Hugh Grant's like, oh, so you're just like a cheater.
She's a fucking cheater.
So, okay, you're kissing me, coming to my sister's party. Now I look like a schmuck in front of my family.
They went on like a bunch of dates too.
Yeah, and he said to the family, he's like, "Did you guys know she had a boyfriend?" And they're like, "Read a paper."
And they're all like, "Of course."
I'm like, "Well, why did any of you say anything?" You know? Okay, so then it gets to me, my favorite part of the movie, which is speed dating for Hugh Grant with a bunch of random ladies. Now, if you're gonna have a gaggle of friends who are your go-to consensus decision makers, they gotta roll up with some homies for you to date. Huh?
They do that. It's a revolving door.
Tinder, take a seat, okay? Notting Hill's where it's at.
That's the new dating app. It's actually Notting Hill, and you're only allowed to meet the person at your friend's house.
And if you nod, dinner. You're in. If not, you're in. Can we make that app right now? Trademark.
There was one of the women were like really cool and normal too, and I was like, are you gonna date that lady? And we never see her again.
Emily Mortimer is the actor's name, and her title is Perfect Girl.
Oh,
she's perfect. And that frickin' shirt with that gorgeous strip down the
Oh,
back.
yeah, that was cool.
I was like, not only is she perfect, she's freaking great fashion. What? Like, she's too good for him. She's too good for him.
She was probably like, I gotta get away from Hugh Grant because, I don't know, his roommate Spike and things are weird. And
she's like, I can't say my life sucks for a brownie. My life's great.
Like, I don't like those rules of friendship. Yeah. Oh my God. And then, I mean, the whole point of that was like, he's like, I just like love Julia Roberts. And they're all like, get over it. And like, we've all been there and been ourselves probably, and other people have had to deal with it.
Absolutely.
Where people are very stuck on someone they dated.
Guilty.
And everyone else is like, fucking, let's press the Zoom button. Let's move along.
I know.
Let's do it.
That is when you start, you know, when you're in that and you're like, oh, well, that's me. You start hanging out with friends you haven't seen in a while because you get to start telling the story and people aren't like annoyed with you yet.
Yeah.
You know, that's when you really gotta, that's when you know, you're like, I haven't hung out with this person in 7 years, but I just need someone to listen to
now
me.
I'm going to trauma dump and maybe get a brownie at the end.
Maybe get a brownie, if I'm lucky.
If you're lucky. Yeah, but this then leads us to Julie Roberts reappears. Who's a stalker now, bitch? Showing up at the blue door. I see your game.
Whoa.
Also no security still. Where are they?
And she also was like visibly upset crying. And he's like, didn't you, gaslighter, cheat on me and then your boyfriend made me clean up the hotel room? Bitch, you're at my door, bitch?
That's exactly what happened. That's exactly right. But then she's like, oh, there's porn of me. And I was like, that does suck. You get a little more sympathy from me, okay? That is an affliction and fear that women have and not so much men. And I hate that. So
yeah,
I did feel for her. But I was also like, you could have gone to a therapist and not Hugh Grant to be like, wah, everyone sees me naked. And then his roommate Spike is like kind of a predator. I don't like it. There's a lot of weird. It's just like ogling Julia Roberts for a whole movie.
And Hugh Grant's like, would you like a spot of tea or a bath?
Oh,
I'm like,
God.
I'm sorry. That is my love language. When I'm sad, I'll take a bath, but not when other people are around.
Not when Spike walks in there with a magazine to
and
do
she's
some
so
masturbating.
Chill.
Yeah.
And she's so chill about it. Well, wasn't he gonna go do it with her dirty pictures?
I think so. I know. This is the problem. Like, it's not great. And then where does this lead, listeners? It leads to boning. Because when you have had revenge porn produced in national press about your body without your consent, you of course go have sex with some guy who's near you. Obviously. You know? Do it! Or else.
I'm gonna be a little absurd here.
All right.
But I'm upset Julia Roberts. I'm at the Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah. I'm at the spa.
I got a king bed. I got, like, fancy thread count. I'm gonna go crash at his dirty-ass twin bed? No.
Hate it.
I'm not doing that.
No.
How old are they? If it's 23, fine. If she's 38, I don't like it.
I don't know. I hate it. I hate it. And then, like, oh my God, they fucking have sex. And then the next scene is the morning after. Her feet are next to his face. Above the covers. Bridget, I would vomit. Like,
I'm Googling that right now.
Like, there has to be a photo of it. I was like, whose idea was it to put her feet like right the fuck up near his face? And at one point he pets the top of her foot while they're talking. And they're talking about boobs. And I was like, this is disgusting. I feel violated. I'm gonna call somebody about this. I'm upset. I cannot.
So what you're saying, you're sitting with Quentin Tarantino.
Oh!
He's in a room full of feet
Quentin
pictures.
Definitely guest directed this scene.
You
That's right.
walk out terrifying.
Like, absolutely not, Quentin. I draw the line at the feet. The feet near the face, no. But, you know, we all think, like, okay, fine, these fuckers are together. We're all over it. Yeah, there's still porn of her. Too bad. So sad. Whatever. Life goes on. Well, life doesn't go on because the doorbell rings, Bridge. And Hugh Grant goes and opens the door in his boxers.
Ugh.
I guess that's not that weird for like a
No,
man.
no,
but...
no. I disagree.
Never mind. It's really fucking weird. Don't do that.
Well, I just... Okay.
He does live on a public street now that I think about it.
Brother Jimmy. Okay.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Growing up around him wearing his fucking boxers everywhere.
There's a lot of boxers.
Never. As much as he'd walk around the house, he would never roll up to the front door.
Yeah.
And answer. Because boxers have that little opening.
That's so the wind blows. You don't know what's going to peek out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know exactly the dynamics, but like, I assume Hugh Grant wouldn't want, like a weird angle, so to speak.
Well,
but I just thought, no effing way would I ever.
No.
Ever. When I don't have a bra on, I run, and the door knocks, I run upstairs and I yell at James to go answer it, right?
Yeah.
Like a normal person, right?
Yeah.
You make your other person do it.
Yeah, I don't have one of those, but
well,
yeah,
you make
I
Bear
agree.
do it, right?
Yes, Bear stands on two legs and opens the door.
That would be amazing.
I would love if he could do that. Wow. Yeah, but it's basically, it's paparazzi, and Hugh Grant does stand there in his boxers for a while, and it's awkward. And then fucking Julia Roberts is the biggest ding-dong, and she's like, who's at the door? I didn't hear anything, even though it was a foot away. And then she opens the door in his shirt, and then closes it, and then she's all upset. And then the best fucking scene is that his roommate, Spike, opens the door, and he sees the paparazzi, and he just starts posing for them in his weird... I don't think he was wearing boxer. I don't know what the hell he's wearing, but he was wearing
tidy
underwear.
Whities.
Oh, he's wearing tidy white. Were they white?
Well, they were gray, and he was like hugging tight his stuff. It was. It
was gross, but I did giggle at that. I was like, "You're so stupid." Oh.
I mean, he really is.
He really is. And she gets mad at Hugh, and she's like, "How dare you set me up to sell photo of me nudie and having sex with you so you can get like paparazzi?" I don't know. Her wasn't a great argument, Julia. And then the roommate later on was like, I might have told people. I was like, what?
Yeah, I was like, what, she think it's Hugh Grant? Why would he sell her out? He doesn't give a shit, right?
No, he's trying to bone. He's trying to see your feet, apparently.
Like, if he was going to have paparazzi, he would probably have it at the bookstore, you ding-dong. Why does he care about her house?
Probably would. That's a good point, Bridge. These are the questions. These are all the fucking questions. So now we break up again. This happens, like, a lot of times in this movie. And maybe that's another reason I was annoyed, because I'm like, get over it! Okay? Pick a lane. Because as Bridget mentioned, we don't know how old we are, but they're definitely not 12. I don't think. So the breaking up and the getting together and the breaking up and I'm over it.
I'm over it too.
Fucking over it.
Well, especially because she hasn't really been nice to him.
No. And then when they break up, why do they even see each other the next time? Just because she's like filming nearby? And then that's when he goes and sees her? And then she shit talks about him to a coworker.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think. Oh, what? No, she didn't. She see him and say, "Hey, I'm filming. Today's my last day. Like, come by the shoot." I thought she said that.
I don't remember. But he does go to her shoot.
He goes to the shoot.
There's also bad security there because literally people are just like, get in here, crazy. And I was like, do you know him? Look at his ID. What if he's a stalker? Nobody cares. Nobody fucking cares.
Nobody really cares.
We're not protecting women.
I really love your security angle. There really was none.
There were none. Yeah.
You know what? You're right. He, unprompted, was like, you know what? Maybe because he felt guilty because she, like, was upset and he always thought, like, oh, I want to see her again when she's back. Yeah. What movie was this? She, like, films for 2 days and then leaves for a year.
It looked like some Pride and Prejudice bullshit. I don't fucking know. It's not good. And then he's allowed to, like, put on a headset and listen. I'm like, again, security. I can't do that. I can't roll up to the movie being filmed and get a headset to listen in. Come on.
Can we get a serious actor that listens to us? Is that
There's
how
so
it goes?
many of you guys.
Well, I think so. So is that how it goes, that you're like chit-chatting in between takes? Do you like talk shit even though everyone is listening to your headphones? Like, do you guys just like not care? It just
not a good look.
It just is what it is, you know?
You gotta be careful if you're mic'd up.
I'm constantly afraid what to put in my Microsoft Teams. I just speak in memes to my coworkers, hoping they get it.
Just sending emojis only, no
Don't
letters.
document anything, you know? So...
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, but then he's like, wah, and then he leaves, and then she stalks him at the bookshop. Again, no security. She brings the biggest painting I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, there's no goddamn way she carried that. No way at all.
I'm
going to
look up.
No.
Keep talking. I'm going to look up how expensive this painting was.
And then she is like, anywho, let's get back together. And yes, this is where the movie should have ended, because he is basically like, you burned me. I've been burned too many times. He's like, we can't come back from it. And I'm like, that's real life. This is going to be forever. Yes, like, keep it up. And then she's like, wah, and she says the stupid ass line, I'm just a girl. She's not a girl. She's a woman. Standing from a boy. He's not a boy. He's a man. Asking him to love her. Love is a strong word. Went on 4 dates at the most, I think. No security. You guys probably don't even know each other's favorite colors. Like, careful. And he's like, yeah, not enough. See ya.
Okay, Katie, like, it was a little cute, though.
I just was like, end it there.
You
and
can't
I'll give you
eye
4
roll
stars.
with your Bo Peep rolls, okay? It just doesn't work, okay?
I did it.
I'll have you know that painting, that original Marc Chagall, it's La Marie, the bride, $500 to $1 million worth.
Oh,
so
my
even
God.
Even at the end, she tries to buy his love. Damn.
Wait, why did she get him a painting, too?
Because they bonded over it, because it was like
they?
a picture in the house, and then they were making jokes about it. And so it was like really adorable. But also,
Yeah, that's a lot.
It is a lot. But here's what I really hated. So then the movie could have just ended.
Yeah.
And then instead, he was like, no, I don't want you. And then he goes to his friends, and they're like, quiet. Because they're like, yeah, right decision. And then, thank God for Spike. Was like, you're a fucking idiot. Go after her. And then they do the Bridget Jones, like, I gotta win him. And then they all get in the car. It's like,
it's like a fucking clown car.
Save her. He goes to the reporters, and he just figures out whatever. Okay. Did they get fucking married at the end?
Who got married?
Did they get married?
Know. Who got married? I don't know who got married. Did they buy the estate? I don't know. Kids were doing karate at one part. And I was like, whose kids? Are they your kids? We don't fucking know. Julie's pregnant at the end. Nobody says words. And it ends. And I said, quote, last line. I said, oh, thank God it's over. And before that I said, whose kids are these?
So they did get married, and she was expecting a child.
Okay. Well, when your movie makes me type more question marks than other punctuation, might want to look at that.
Can you believe, though, it was the same writer's Love Actually?
I absolutely can believe that 100%. To the point where I'm like, I should have known. You got your fucking Love Actually fingerprints all over this bullshit, I'll tell you. That brownie scene? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Richard Curtis.
Richard, do you want to talk about it? Like, I
gotta tell you. You know what he is, too.
No.
He's a Scorpio.
Wow. Well,
that's a lot. That's a lot.
There it is.
Does anyone know what that means?
I do. Y'all watch The White Lotus. Rick's a Scorpion. I'm an Aries, Rick. So good. Need everything out in the open. Oh my God, so good. Well, what do you think, Bridge? Would you watch or don't watch Notting Hill?
It's a no for me, dog. How about you, Kate?
It's a hard no for me, too. I don't even want the brownie. I don't want it.
I thought it was a little better. It really wasn't.
No.
So,
go watch Bridget Jones's Diary. That's probably...
That one's a little better.
She's definitely funnier. A good one. Yeah. Well, Notting Hill has 7.2 out of 10. No fucking way. That's all from Richard, I bet. Okay, well, guess what, Bridge?
What?
I have the next pick.
Okay.
We've been in the 90s for a long time. It's time to leave the 90s.
Okay.
It's time to go back in time. We are going to the 80s. And this movie is a movie we absolutely watched growing up. Definitely quotable. I really like this movie. I think you really like this movie.
Oh.
But this is from 1988. It is rated PG.
Oh.
It is live action,
PG.
Considered I'm not going to read that description. Considered a coming of age, High concept comedy, sure. Comedy, drama, sure. Fantasy, romance, bleh. It's got a very iconic actor who our mother has a big old crush on. A big old crush on. It's a big crush.
It's not The Sound of Music.
No. Who does our mom have a crush on?
Tom Hanks?
A big crush.
It's big!
Big! I wasn't thinking big.
Love crush. I was thinking like fangirl crush.
Oh no, like a man crush. After wishing to be made big, a teenage boy wakes the next morning to find himself mysteriously in the body of an adult. Yeah, there's definitely some not great things
I don't
that happen.
love this theme.
Okay,
she wants to have sex with the kid. Okay.
That is the worst. But Tom Hanks is in this. We got Elizabeth Perkins, John Hurd. We love to see him. Bravo,
I love
Lagia,
this. Ooh, a shake it, a shoe, a shimmy, sugar pop, shimmy, pop. I got a biscuit, I got a Triscuit,
Oh, this is directed by Penny Marshall. She did A League of Their Own. Gary Marshall's sister. We love female directors.
Love that.
Yeah, I'm fucking ready. We definitely watched this in the car driving places, I think.
I fucking we watch this a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they do their handshake sing song, I'm like, well, I remember it.
And whenever I see a piano on the floor, I think of it.
I think this is going to make me feel kind of sad and creeped out a little bit, but I'm fucking ready, Kate.
Well, we're going to have to find out.
We will have to find out.
And, Bridge.
Yeah.
Just want to say.
Uh-huh.
If we were at a family dinner and probably our mom would be the only one to do this, made brownies. And she was like, well, the only way to get a brownie is to trauma dump. I would not participate in that. I would take the brownies, hand them out, because, we don't need to do that. Guys, Kate, we don't. You don't. Nobody does.
In that same scenario, because I am not that creative right now.
Okay.
I would secretly DoorDash a bunch of Dairy Queen Blizzards.
Thank God.
To the door. And I would say, don't worry about the brownie, you're right. Ding dong. And then we'd all eat ice cream. What do you think?
That's the best ever. I love that.
Right?
I love that. And listeners, if you also think that brownies should not have a contingency for them, especially a traumatic contingency, what? Who the fuck made that rule? And if you think that Julia Roberts' character should have had more security, I mean, we flip the roles, we flip the genders, we flip a little bit. This could be a horror movie.
Oh my God.
Not good, not safe. And if you think that the movie ended at the wrong spot, the movie could have gained at least a star and a half more for me personally if it ended where Hugh Grant rejected her and said bye-bye. But it didn't do that. But it could have. And if you think all that, you should write us a review. We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts along with some other podcasting apps. And we also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. On our website, you can request a movie. So there is a form you can fill out. Your request goes on a list. And we look at the list every now and then. And we will do it eventually. And Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
Give us money.
Woo!
Which will definitely go to brownies. And merchandise to wear in case we spill brownies. And other fun stuff. Request a movie. Enjoy. Let's do it.
Yeah, I gotta see if someone requested big. I feel like it's not sticking out in my memory, but it's possible.
I don't remember.
So if that was you, we'll shout you out next time. But yeah. All right. So check all that out, listeners, and we hope to hear from you. All right. Well, we'll see y'all next week for Big. And the one line I remember from this movie is, eject your seat! Out the sunroof of the limo.
Yes!
Oh my God, I love it.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
Oh my gosh.
And, if you're just a girl standing in front of a boy asking him to love her and he says no because you've been a dick, you have to say, I'm so sorry. Walk away.
Bye. And then get over it and stop wasting my time. Love you!
Bye-bye!
Bye-bye!
Bye-bye! I love you! Bye-bye!
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who've Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswhoseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.